Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 2 p.m. on Saturday in Queensland, Australia. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. Real quick, I want to thank all of our subscribers and let you know that over 80% of the people who have viewed our episodes have not subscribed. So if you've seen 2 or more episodes, please consider doing so. That's you.
Okay. Basically, for cybersecurity news. Oh, first off,
we got some comments.
Yep. Hello,
welcome.
Peter.
Hello, Peter R.
Janie. Hi, Janie.
Welcome. Dodgers won game 1. Okay.
And Scott. Hey, Scott.
Welcome. Thanks for being here, folks.
Okay, cybersecurity news. Not actual cybersecurity news, but don't let everyone in your company know everyone's passwords. Just saying, it's a mess to clean up when you have to go in and be security IT and change everything because someone was a bad actor after they got canned.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was because maybe that's why they were canned. Don't know. I don't know that end of things. I just know that it's a mess.
He's cleaning up for. You got those?
Yeah.
Welcome, Dawn and Peter R. That's very cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wish I'd been able to meet.
You blinded me with signs.
Yeah, meet him.
Very cool. All right, thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate it. So tonight's episode is Scary Science. We'll be back in 8.3 seconds.
Yes.
Thomas Dolby.
Yeah.
This old song. All right, as we approach Halloween this year, we're thinking about things that are pretty scary in science. We actually mentioned a couple of them last episode. This week, let's learn about some more of these examples of scary science. Most of tonight's show is brought to you by Jeff. My friend Roddy did mention one thing, though, which I'll share with you in a little bit. Jeff, what did you find out?
Well, there's a bunch of things that are scary out there that I won't really cover. Like, I'll mention them. There's an asteroid with our name on it somewhere because, it's going to happen sooner or later, probably much, much later, but hey, who knows? A Carrington event could happen, basically a massive coronal mass ejection that would wipe out the power grid. Not as immediately deadly. Gamma ray burst from a star that goes supernova that's pointed in just the wrong direction. Those are the big ones that are kind of mentioned here. And if anyone wants these links, I can give them to you, but I just looked up scary science. And this is talking about incoming mega comets. Now they're just in our solar system, and since it's a comet, it crosses our orbit. So, they're a threat, even if it's very, very minor.
Yeah, we actually have a number of them every year that come kind of close. There's a list of them on Space Calendar. I don't usually hear about them too much anywhere else, though.
Yeah.
So,
collision with Andromeda. Yeah, don't lose any sleep. It's 2.5 million years away.
Apparently, we've started that, though. I don't know. I get conflicting info on that one.
Catastrophic solar flare. That's what I mentioned about CME. A rogue black hole could zip through our solar system and cause bad things to happen.
Would we notice that very much, though?
It depends on where it zipped through our. If it pulled us away from our sun or pulled us into it, that'd be bad.
Peter saw the Northern Lights the other day.
Nice.
Very cool. We are a little too far south to get those. Yep. I'm okay with that because if I did see them, that might be a bad thing.
Yep. This is the gamma ray burst thing. Okay, yeah, lots of rocks. The moon's shadow.
Why is that terrifying?
I don't know. I guess if you don't know anything, there's.
Peter's in Texas.
Oh,
You saw. Okay.
man,
Interesting. That's pretty far.
you must have pretty dark skies. We're in Southern California.
Yeah.
The darkest sky here is still pretty gray.
Do you want to go into those now or
Yeah, you do
after
your thing.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. Let me get to the right place. So my friend Radine in Canada mentioned this to me when I talked to her about tonight's show. And she talked about this thing called atrazine. It's an herbicide, so basically a weed killer. Unfortunately, it does affect the endocrine. It's an endocrine disruptor. So I went over to that page, and this sounds pretty bad. Endocrine disruptors can, mess up your hormone activity. Let's see. I was wanted to read some parts here. These disruptions can cause numerous adverse human health outcomes, including alterations in sperm quality and fertility, abnormalities in sex organs, endometriosis, early puberty, altered nervous system or immune function, certain cancers, respiratory problems, metabolic issues, diabetes, obesity, or cardiovascular problems, growth, neurological and learning disabilities, and more. And there's some interesting numbers here because it is used a lot. They talked about the EPA kind of flip-flopped on their review of this substance. Let's see, where does it say? Yeah, atrazine was the second most widely used herbicide after glyphosate, with 76 million pounds applied each year. It continues to be one of the most widely used herbicides in Australian culture. Its effect on corn yields has been estimated from 1 to 8%, with 3 to 4% being the conclusion of one economics review. So, kind of scary. So that's the one I found out about.
Okay.
Let's see, we're back here. And let's go back. You sharing your screen?
Yeah. Let's see.
Dawn had
Peter said yes.
Lone Star State. Yeah. Very cool.
And Aurora can make it to LA. I saw it from my light polluted front yard.
Yeah, I saw the charts of where it would show up, and like, yeah, we're down below that.
Yeah. Plus, we get LA lights, and we get marine layer, so it's kind of makes the air very shiny.
Can be.
It can be. Yeah. Okay. So.
We're sharing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's some science for you.
Scary science.
Yeah.
This one's very scary.
Demon core. Now, this was a while ago, but they had a sphere of plutonium that basically 1945, so they didn't know a lot about it, but they knew enough to know that it was really dangerous. But a couple scientists basically died in a lab accident to this thing. And one of them died because he was basically shutting the case on it.
Weren't they supposed to keep two things separate, and they got together, and that was a big problem, part of the problem? It's been a while but I remember seeing something about this. Was that a video or a show, or?
We saw a video.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, look it up if you want to see some nightmare fuel for nuclear experiments and bad things that can happen. It wasn't, it didn't blow up, didn't take out a town, but man,
it was radiation, right?
Yeah.
It's like really,
really
powerful radiation.
Yeah. So that's
why did they create this? Were they looking for a power source?
No, to make fissionables.
Oh, okay.
And possibly power source also, but it was a military endeavor, so they were looking for.
Got it.
Probably looking for the edge conditions of when things fuse. How close can you get it together, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That's because you kind of have to know that if you're going to make a bomb and make it safe to carry. You want it to go boom when you want it to go boom, but you don't want it to go boom when you don't want it to go boom.
Seems safer to like put a separating something in
Yeah.
between and then remove it when it's time.
Right. But yeah, this was early
to
days.
let
This
it
was
do its thing.
yeah, this was early days. They were
Okay.
still playing with it. So
Interesting word. Interesting way to think about that.
yeah.
Okay.
One of the most dangerous chemicals, chlorine trifluoride. This is actually on a number of chemists' do not touch list.
Hmm.
They don't want to play with it. Chlorine trifluoride is famous for its ability to corrode glass.
Oh, wow.
It's a so-called interhalogen compound that is colorless, highly corrosive, and is an extremely reactive chemical. It's used as a rocket fuel component. It can only be stored in fluorine-treated metal containers.
Okay.
When the nasty chemical meets water, it produces a highly explosive reaction. So
I'm not even sure I heard about any of it whenever I was
yeah,
working at Boeing.
yeah,
Hydrazine we heard about, but
right, yeah,
not this one.
and the rest of the things on this list are known poisons. I mean, they're just, like potassium cyanide. Well, yeah, all immediately what that's about. But a lot of these fluoride compounds are not good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are these naturally occurring? Are they making them? What's our
no,
deal
I don't
here?
think they're naturally occurring in any kind of, maybe by the, couple molecules here or there.
Because one of the things that surprised me is we were talking about it before, but there's like certain places that can create sort of a nuclear reactor sort of an arrangement.
Yeah, well, and they think that there were more of them back in the, dinosaurs and earlier when there were more fissionables in the Earth's crust.
Yeah.
And there were higher concentrations that there could have been some sustained reactions in the crust, and maybe still are, but far enough down that we don't really notice them.
Still kind of surprised me, like, wait, what? That's a naturally occurring possibility. So
yes.
These things maybe not so much. Okay.
Yeah. Now a number of the poisons here are naturally occurring. In fact, one of them is, you might recognize this frog.
Yeah, and they absolutely make themselves known. So
yeah.
I suppose you can.
Here I am,
unaware, but
don't eat me by mistake, or we'll both die.
Actually, Janie says, "How do they store chlorine trifluoride if it corrodes glass?"
Oh, they mentioned this. I don't know if I said it. In fluorine-treated metal containers, they have to coat it with a fluorine compound, and hope it doesn't get scratched. Because
I don't even know what that would be. A fluorine compound.
Yeah, it's a chemical composition of fluorine.
Okay. So you start with a metal container and you coat the inside with this fluorine compound and pray.
If it springs a leak, it looks like that scene from Alien, where they cut the face hugger and it just ate its way down through several layers.
I see.
Now, I won't go that far, but
it
is pretty nasty reactive stuff.
Got
so yeah, this has just a number of different chemicals. Like Botox is actually very toxic. Ricin comes from castor beans.
As in castor oil plants, right?
Yeah, I never understood the appeal of castor oil after.
I don't think it was appealing.
Yeah, after learning.
But yeah, now that it's associated with ricin.
Yeah. A dose the size of just a few grains of table salt will kill a human outright.
That's small.
Yeah. Sarin gas.
What's that thing?
Strychnine. I think mushrooms.
Oh.
Killed. Rumored to have killed Alexander the Great. They've got nicotine here, which is actually very deadly poison. It's just you get it in such small doses that it takes a long time to kill you. Sodium cyanide, is another kind of cyanide. Okay, so um, dangerous chemicals. There's fentanyl citrate.
Okay.
Control measures include limit total quantity handled. Fatal dose is 2 milligrams. So each sample that they handle in the lab is 1 milligram because that's half of a fatal dose. Lots of containment, bleach everything outside of the primary level, buddy system with naloxone. I'm assuming that's something to counteract it on all handling activities. So anytime someone handles it, someone else stands off to the side and watches them.
Okay.
Gets ready to inject them.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. Here's one that was just, most of the ones on this set aren't great, but I only recently learned that when you get sunburned, the burn isn't because of skin cell damage. The UV radiation damages the DNA. Then the skin cells decide to commit suicide and fall off so that the damaged DNA doesn't produce cancer. So that's why your skin peels.
What an amazing system. It takes care of itself. It cleans things up.
Yeah.
I read part of a book about the liver, and oh my goodness.
Yep.
There's some wild stuff that happens all inside, and it's a lot of it's very automatic, like that.
Yep.
You get sunburn and your skin comes off. It's protecting you.
Yep. Some
oh, this is a nasty one.
Yeah. Here are a bunch of experiments that Japanese Army Unit 731, kind of like the Nazis in Germany, in the doing Mengele type of experiments.
Wow. That's not 1984 there.
No. 1938. Set up in 1938.
It was until 1984 that Japan acknowledged.
Oh, they didn't acknowledge it.
Yeah. Okay, all right, but they weren't doing the experiments.
Right,
okay.
No. Tuskegee syphilis experiment, where they
think a lot of
injected a bunch of people with syphilis.
Yeah.
And this wasn't military personnel. They were injecting people in the town of Tuskegee.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of military get experimented on too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do.
Kind of scary.
But this was 100 died because of related complications. So, two-headed dog. The Russian doctor decided to basically graft the head of a dog onto another dog. And it was viable, except that what would kill them would be tissue rejection.
Okay.
So it would live for a while and be able to function. But the longest one only survived a month because of the tissue rejection.
That seems pretty long.
Yeah.
They actually give people drugs to counteract.
Right. But this was,
rejections.
Let's see, did they say when? They don't say when. But this was Cold War era. I don't know exactly when it was, but it was Cold War era. Testicle transplants.
That sounds scary.
And it was kind of stupid science, not necessarily scary science, but
would it fit in the bad science from last episode?
Yeah. A physician in charge at San Quentin Prison in California decided that low testosterone was the reason why people were violent.
Low testosterone, not high testosterone?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So he transplanted human testicles into them. Yes.
What did that? What happened?
Well, they said they felt more energetic, but who knows? I'm assuming that it was a placebo effect. But hey.
Interesting.
The Stanford prison experiment. They, to investigate the causes of conflict between prisoners and guards, 24 students were assigned the roles of prisoners and guards randomly and put into a prison-like environment.
So they weren't either one; they were just
put into
role playing.
Yeah. Meant to last 2 weeks, the study abruptly ended after only 6 days. as it became difficult to control and maintain order. Despite being told not to use any form of violence, 1 in every 3 guards showed their tendency to abuse.
Whoa.
So just being put into the position of power.
It's Cliff.
Oh. Hi, Cliff.
Welcome. Glad you made it.
Yep. So,
So give them a little authority and...
Yeah. And this is just random people. This is random people from the class. So there's no...
They could have been either way.
Yeah. So,
many of the prisoners accepted this. Oh, wow.
Yeah. But 1 in 3 became abusive when given the authority.
Ah, that's a pretty high number. Zombie dogs?
Yes.
Okay.
Using a special heart-lung apparatus. They basically beheaded dogs and kept the head alive by creating an artificial blood circulation system. Again, Russian scientists.
Okay.
Using a
Fun
special
guys.
heart-lung apparatus called an auto-injector, the scientists allowed the dog heads, showed the dog heads responding to sounds by wiggling their ears, blinking eyes, and even licking their mouths. And it was repeated. Now, this is what I can't.
What?
By American scientists in 2005.
2005? That's not even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So, yeah. That doesn't need to have happened.
Okay.
MK Ultra. This was CIA experiment from somewhere in the 1950s until 1970. When enough people found out about it that
sorry,
they
Janie.
whacked it.
She said, "Gross me out."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah. This is where they gave a lot of illegal drugs to thousands of Americans, including LSD, to basically see if they could mind control people with them.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So that's...
But scary science.
Yeah, scary science.
Happy Halloween.
Yep.
Okay.
Here's one. The Cascadia Subduction Zone runs from the east coast of Northern California to southern Canada and ruptures every 250 to 350 years.
This is a tectonic plates related thing,
Right, yeah.
right? Okay, because...
Yeah, we know this from geologic record. The last rupture was in January 1700.
We're getting close, I think.
And there are written records from Japan of a tsunami that resulted from the earthquake on the other side of the Pacific. The zone is still active and likely to rupture in the next 100 years, resulting in a magnitude 9+ earthquake.
And they're not linear. Those are exponential numbers, I think, right?
Yep.
So 9 would be pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay, and in the... Sorry, Janie. Hearing is supposedly one of the last senses to fade upon death, based on EEG brain waves.
I have heard about that before.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I was in a situation where I passed out. I could still hear just fine. Vision went away even before I fell down. Vision faded, basically fade to black. Then I had just enough time to aim for something soft as I fell.
I remember seeing black spots at one point when I was in the hospital, but
yeah,
I never actually passed out all the way.
So, yeah.
I made sure to tell the nurses, so.
Yeah. Prions.
And you know what's weird? They say, back to the hearing stuff.
Yep.
They say you can hear when you're sleeping, but I don't think I can.
Right.
Because a lot of things happen around me and I'll just sleep through it.
You're right. Well, and they say that the subconscious basically adds those to the dreams.
Okay. Well, I know what it was. It was Dr. Fiorella Terenzi. She was talking about, your hearing doesn't fall asleep.
Right. Yeah.
I might be an exception to that one.
In fact, there are a number of patients in hospitals that are either put under through anesthetic or in comas, and when they wake up, can tell people what people have said around them.
Wow. Not me.
So now doctors and nurses are trained to don't say stupid things around a patient.
Which I think is generally a good idea.
Yeah. You know, when they're unconscious. Yeah.
Got it.
Prions. These are proteins that basically build more of themselves.
Okay.
It's kind of like on the first step toward life. Probably this sort of thing is how life began. But it's not quite alive. It's just a chemical that makes copies of itself or makes itself longer until basically it does bad things to, you know, in fact, mad cow disease is a prion.
Got it. So
And
not a particle physics thing.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, mad cow disease, that's pretty serious. They kind of feed the animals the stuff from the previous diseased animals. I hope that's stopped. I don't know if it has or not.
Yeah. Some anesthesia doesn't numb you to pain. It just makes you forget you felt it.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, in fact, there's some that they found just paralyzes you.
Far out.
Yeah.
So you're very aware, but you just can't move.
Yeah.
Great.
There were once sea scorpions the size of a great white shark.
What?
Yes.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Oh, scurvy.
Everyone knows about scurvy.
Which one is that?
That's the if you don't have enough vitamin C, you end up with lesions and stuff all over your body. The scar tissue is not permanent. The process to build and maintain scar tissue is constantly ongoing. When you become vitamin C deficient, your scar tissue starts being reabsorbed by your body, opening up any and all old wounds. Oh, so it doesn't necessarily create wounds. It just means that if you have a scar, yes, it opens up.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Drink your orange juice.
Yeah.
But we don't have to worry about it generally in our modern day cultures.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But it's why British soldiers were given, shipfuls of limes to eat.
Yep.
Which is why Brits are called limeys sometimes.
Yeah, we're reading about that recently, and lime isn't actually the best one to use for that.
Right. No, but they were small and easy. It was have 2 limes a day. It was really easy to do. They actually last longer than lemons. So. Okay. Yeah. People over a certain body fat will start a literal grease fire in your crematory oven if you don't bake them at the proper temperature and duration.
Cold start, low and slow is key.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the PSA.
We keep our dangerous bacteria species in a college campus's fridge, protected by a single lock and 1 power cord.
Okie dokie. If you're not scared before this, you will be now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Topsoil, et cetera, et cetera. CPR. What is the success rate of CPR? The average person assumes it's 75% or greater.
Scott says, yikes.
In reality, it's barely 10%.
Yeah. And if you don't break somebody's rib, you're not doing it right, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very low.
Yep.
Rate of success.
Antibiotic resistance.
But I think it's worth knowing and helping someone if you can, and they won't sue you later.
Yeah.
Anglerfish.
Yep. Glowing photoluminescent flesh on the tip of its antenna. It's just someone found that scary. I don't know why, but that's a bit about it from that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's what we have for tonight. I didn't. Did you want to go into anything else? Because there was one. I was like, wait, tell me more about that one.
Which one?
Go back to the last page you were on.
Oh, okay.
I think the topsoil one. I want to know more about that one.
Oh.
Because I sort of know something about topsoil. Oh, let me share.
Yeah, let me
Hello.
Let me find it again.
Okay.
I have to find it.
It was okay.
That's CME.
A little more. A little more.
Oh, there
Right
it
there.
is.
I think it's there. All right, you
We're-
ready?
Yeah.
I'm sharing.
We're degrading, polluting, and losing our topsoil at such a rate that we may not be able to produce enough food to feed everyone within 50 to 60 years,
Okay.
let alone what impacts climate change may bring to bear on our food supply.
Okay, that's scary. I didn't realize there was that kind of a time frame for one thing.
Yeah. And the U.S. government's crop insurance programs and incentives all reinforce the bad practices while discouraging regenerative practices.
Okay, we could stop that.
Yeah, because crop rotation is the way to.
Oh, Don says CPR can help, but AED save lives.
Yeah.
Is the AED the defibrillator? Because I think they're a little bit different things, aren't they? Because I think CPR has to do with putting air back into the lungs, and AED has to do with jump-starting the heart again.
Well, CPR is actually doing heart compressions, but generally for heart compressions, the heart stopped for a reason, and the CPR, the whole sole purpose of the CPR is to keep someone alive long enough for medical personnel to get to them.
I see. Okay.
I mean, and since most people don't do it right, it's all it does is make a bruise spot on the corpse.
Janie says hydroponics are important for creating food sources.
Yeah, or crop rotation or anything else that, letting cattle graze on the land between crops is, puts nutrients back in the soil.
Maybe we stop selling to China too, our farmland here in the United States.
Yeah, well, at least they can't walk off with it. And if things go really bad, we can just say, nope, we get it back because we're here and you're not.
Yeah, I think Mexico has it right. You can lease land in Mexico for 99 years, but foreigners may not buy it. At least that's what it was when I studied that.
Yeah.
We went to the total solar eclipse in 1991. Dawn went with me too. So, yeah, I mean, that seems like a national thing that would be good to do.
Yep.
Just my opinion. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Plenty of scary stuff. Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a pleasant night, everyone.
Sweet dreams. It's just a little before Halloween, so you got a little time to get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we did it. It's Halloween.
Yeah, and sometimes around the holidays, we kind of take a more relaxed view on the episodes of our show. So tonight, some stellar events this week, October 25th through November 1st. The Globe at Night project continues. These projects last 10 days, and this one runs through November 2nd. And in the Southern Hemisphere, you can look for Grus. In the Northern Hemisphere, you've got a choice between Cygnus and Pegasus. And Janie's got a comment too.
Yeah. And yeah, very scary. Yeah. Well,
yes. Plenty for tonight. October 25th, Venus is 3 degrees north of Antares. October 26th, Regulus is 2.9 degrees south of the moon. I don't know if that's close enough for an occultation from somewhere.
No, usually when I've seen it, it's like about 1% or less. 1% or less.
On October 29th, the moon is on the equator, and it's a descending node, and it's at apogee. Apogee being the farthest away from us. It's kind of a farther, closer. It's not a perfect circle around. It's sort of a, yeah. Oh. Hey, Cliff. I'm a CPR and first aid officer certified, right? CPR can save most. Lots of different circumstances. I can imagine there would be certain different circumstances, but yeah, the failure rate is very high for those.
And I would imagine it's because most, there's a lot more people that are not trained in doing CPR correctly than there are trained in doing it correctly. So I would imagine that most CPR is done by people who don't know what they're doing. I
can't even believe somebody who doesn't know how to do it would try.
You get people who, I saw it on TV, I can do this.
Yeah, I've been certified in the past too, but I think there's a time limit for those. Yeah. So, and I'm out of it now. But
way long time ago, me too.
Yeah.
But,
like decades ago.
Well, I was a Boy Scout, so I got the badge, but that was, what?
Did you get to work
40 years ago?
Did you get to work on Annie?
Yep.
All right, October 31st, as we said, is Halloween, also known as Samhain. November 1st is the new moon. November 1st is also our Friday night show. I'm going to take another look at that next generation list that we covered a couple of episodes ago now, I think. And Jeff will tell you which section next. But find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel. What inspires you the most for this coming week?
Okay.
There it is.
If you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, November 1st. Well, Pam will talk about space liner companies.
Yeah. I was really excited to see that on the list. So
yep.
I'm going to delve into it. Oh, yep. Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. But Halloween.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else from you?
Nope.
I'm good. We'll continue to watch for your comments as well. We really appreciate it when you actually leave comments after the show too, and I do my best to come in and reply to those. So yeah. Dawn just did one recently. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
She said something about the shorts too.
Yeah.
We really get some traction with those. I think sometimes we get some interesting numbers.
And maybe sometime I'll do a show on just WTF science, like one radio astronomer who turned his dish toward the horizon so that he could watch a Dodgers game by hooking up an oscilloscope to the. Yeah.
I can believe that. Yeah. Oh, and I didn't really prepare anything for tonight. I'm thinking I'll do something eventually, but Sadie sent the Redshift Wrangler stickers, and boy, they're cool. So I'll do a little something with that. The wheels are turning. So stay tuned for that. All right. So we had Cliff here and Dawn and Jamie Becker and Scott Bragdon and Peter R. in Texas. Did we see anybody else?
No, not tonight.
Awesome.
You got it.
Well, thanks so much, folks. You always make it a better show than we could do by ourselves. Mm-hmm. Silly science? It will be silly science. Maybe that could go into the WTF.
Yeah. I think that's what she's referring to.
Okay. I get it. All right. So, folks, you have a really great week and happy Halloween. We'll see you next month. Next week. Next month. Same thing. Have a good one. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.